Hey, what's good, everybody? Good morning. Hopefully, you are all well. I don't know if I'm going a little earlier than I've been going, but yeah, woke up a little early, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get on here. I'm gonna do a general collective check-in. Whoa! So that was interesting already, huh? Already, all these cards just flew. All these cards just flew. I'm starting off with the spirit animal, so that was interesting. All right, let's see. It looks like the spirit animals want to talk. Hey, River Dragon, how are you? Hopefully, you're doing well. Um, Let me see. So, what spirit animal message wants to come out for the collective this morning? Just give me one, cause it look like all the spirit animals want to talk right now. Ah, interesting. They kind of both. Well, this one came out first, which is interesting because a rebirth is assured. 5. Whew. So the bat is like once, right? I went hiking and there was this place that I've been going to for 20 years or something, and a bat comes and starts flying around me, and I'm like, oh no. Because just I knew it was like some shadow work was about to come in, because it just usually means that, right? Well, it depends how it comes in, right? Because there's one place in the mountains where more often than not there's bats there, right? But this was just so strange that I knew. So a lot of times the bat can represent that. So this is first just what I'm getting. So some of you, whoever ends up watching this, maybe you're about to go through some shadow work, but a rebirth is assured, right? Like it says from after that shadow work. So it's not something to be a 5. 5 is a number of change. So there it is, right? I've said it on so many things, right? I'm a life path 5, and so I'm very comfortable with that. But for some, it may feel very tough, right? Sometimes, people just don't want to change, even though it's for their highest good, right? The universe will be pushing them to change, and you know, it, people just want to stay stuck, right? Man, I don't know where I left my glasses, so I guess we're just gonna have to go with that. And the vulture popped out too. The vulture, it's called the golden purifier, right? Cataris aura. Is it Cataris aura? I think that's how it's called, right? But nothing is wasted, right? So, and it's a number 9, so that's interesting, right? So maybe from all the lessons, right? Everything, but it's also like as you're going through this change, right? It cleans up everything, right? Because that's even just the way it works in nature, right? If it wasn't for the vultures, just all the dead animals or stuff that will be lying around, right? All the carcasses, even I guess, human stuff, right? But the vulture cleans things up, right? So as you're going through this transformation, it's good to tap into these energies, right? If you're going through shadow work, ask the bat, that has the echolocation, that sees things that you can't perceive normally. The bat will help guide you through that, right? Maneuver through the shadows, right? To find your way. But ask, right? I'm feeling emphasis on the ask. Make sure you ask for that help, right? And they're here to help. And look at how the vulture's even wearing a crown, right? It knows what it is and it's very proud of it. See, some people may look at the vulture like, oh, you bald headed bird or something, right? But I mean, it's such a special, you know, relative, right? I don't think is yeah, because it stands on its own, right? Like what the vulture is, and you know what it does, and nobody does it better than the vulture, right? So I'll just say that. Let me see. I guess I could pull one from the Wisdom of the Elders. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot my glasses. That sucks. Do I have them in here? No, I don't think they're in here. So let me pull from the wisdom of the elders. I have this little incense burning. I mean, it's to cleanse the space too, but it smells so good. I don't even know what it is, but it's to cleanse the space, right? So don't forget to breathe too, right? Make sure you take time to breathe. Ah, look at. I know this has came out before, so. Oh, the wolf, right? It didn't come up upside, but you know, the wolf. Humility. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, and that's the thing, right? Sometimes we stay stuck, and the universe is gonna work its magic, right? Like I've been seeing the things, like even in my life, right? When I'm not taking action, the universe will humble us, right? So maybe in this sense, that's why this is coming out, right? It's not a bad thing, right? It's just sometimes we have to see that we try to control things so hard, like so hard, and we don't realize that, it's more about obviously we have to take action, but we have to enjoy this ride of this thing called life, right? Like we have to, not be bitter in this. Like I mentioned in another video how the other day, right, I was driving and it sucks, right? Yesterday, obviously, right, I had to drive like 2 hours in traffic and it sucks, but the other day there was two people that were about to fight, right? As I'm driving home from work, one guy hops out of his car, the other guy was there, he was holding a pipe, and and the person's in front of me stopping to look, and I'm just honking like, get out of the way, like I'm just trying to get home. But it's funny, right? All that tension, everything, like it's not that serious, right? Like everybody's on their way home or something, like obviously doesn't want to be stuck in traffic, right? So we're kind of on this journey, all of us together. So why wouldn't we rather help each other out instead of like how everybody just wants to? Of course, there's a lot of the journey we have to do by ourselves, right? But it's just crazy that everybody prefers to fight. Not everybody, right? But so many people prefer. Wow, I guess we're still in that retrograde, right? So don't be surprised if there's just miscommunication still. I guess that's kind of what that is, right? In a way, people not taking the time to understand that, hey, as we're, the other, someone else is probably going through something worse. You never know. So just be humble. Be humble. Humility, the wolf. That's funny, right? Because the wolf cares about the pack, right? So maybe during this time, it's a good time to think about others, right? Don't just think about what you're going through and everything. Think that, yeah, maybe take a little bit of time. I don't know. I think that's it for that one. Cause yeah, and River Dragon, let me know if you want me to pull a card for you or anything, or you have a question. If you have a specific question, by all means, just ask. Right. So let's see. Okay, what else do you want the collective to know at this time? Can't believe I forgot my glasses. It's all good though. Let me see. Oof. Uh-oh. See, so right now if there's sneakiness around, so whoever resonates with this, right? Whether it's someone being sneaky. This came out yesterday, I believe, right? But it was in relation, right? The question was asked about, it was more like when the government's gonna reveal stuff, right? And it was, I think this card came out, and connected to that, it was like someone throwing crumbs and then kind of seeing if you take the bait, right? And the same, right? During this time, it's like, I guess just be careful with communications, right? Like as long as you're being honest with things, don't fall for games, right? Cause see, if you look at this person, they're playing games, right? Cause they're looking back. It's not someone that just like takes their things. Like when you see the, is it the Ten of Wands? It's someone that's just like, bam, okay. Depending how it comes out in a reading, but they're taking their wands and they're like, that's it. I'm just moving. I'm moving on, and they look strong, right? Like their arms are all big in that card. Like they already went through too much and they gained strength from it and they're just moving on. But this is someone that's like, see, that's why mentiras is lies, right? It's someone that's like, oh, did they take the bait, right? I'm almost leaving like a trail, right? To see if someone follows or something, right? Like something like that. So just be seven's usually a good number, right? I really love the number seven, but in this case, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Just be careful with that, right? Solar plexus. And that says more about others, right? Like, because that means someone else isn't standing fully in their truth, right? Like, there's lies, right? And yeah, so you just got to be careful with that. Hey, Linda. Good morning. Hope all is well. Yeah, so that's interesting that came out. Lies, right? Okay, what other? Oof. Ah, the Hangman. The third eye. See, it goes with this. Honestly, like that's funny, right? Because what am I saying? Like, be careful with people playing games and this and that. And look at, I mean, the Hangman. In this case, it feels very almost also like the Hermit, right? Like you can see, right? You can see the deception. You can just hang there and see the light bulb, right? Observe. Let people's masks fall off by themselves, right? I think this Mercury retrograde has been amazing to see people's masks chipping away, right? The universe did some incredible things during this Mercury retrograde that I noticed. And yeah, it's been a great time I don't know why I don't know what, or maybe I perceived more, right? Because there was something I was just noticing a lot of things. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's funny that came out. 12, right? I know 10's the number of completion, but I always think of 12 as a completion too, right? Because the months go to 12 and start over, the hours go to 12 and start over. In school it's like first grade to 12th, and then it's higher learning, right? So it's almost like someone completing that, right? And then moving on, getting the light bulb moment and graduating, right? So there's something that's been learned during this time, right? And yeah, I think from that it's gonna move on probably to like you can look for, you know, more harmonious things rather than deal with energies like this, right? I don't think anyone really needs to deal with games, right? Just depending. Look at that. When I split the deck, right? Are you going to deal with the games, or would you rather go towards something that's more harmonious and the 10 of cups? That's amazing that was under, right? That's just amazing. And the cards fell, and then the world is right there, right? So I'm just tripping. It's like they want to tell the story themselves, right? So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like it. I like it. Let me put these cards back in and see what else. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone has a question, just by all means throw it in the chat. If not, I just wanted to do a check-in. Let's see what came out. I'm trying to think if I had any dream last night. I'm sure I did. I know I woke up with certain songs in my head. So there were songs, you know. It's funny because it seemed, obviously like, yeah, there were messages in the songs, right? So maybe it's a time to focus on work, right? Obviously, holiday seasons, all that good stuff. No, there's a seven. See, this seven obviously feels a lot more positive than that other seven, right? Maybe it's that someone playing their games just, hey, makes you just focus on work, and that's not a bad thing, right? New ventures, studying something, right? Look at how they're listening to this person, right? Take it how it resonates. Maybe, you know, that's you can see yourself in those people, right? Going to like one of those seminars where they're teaching you about something, but not just where you actually just throwing your money at people, but where you're actually something that you want to learn, right? Going to one of those things, or you're the person on the little bench speaking, right? Teaching. Maybe that's something during this time, right? That eventually turns profitable. And look at the solar plexus, so it's gonna be something that resonates with your truth, right? Third eye, solar plexus. Um, yeah. What else? Let me see. Let me pull one from this. It's an interesting. I don't know. The energy today feels peaceful, right? It's just like Linda Starwatch. It's keeping me. You're the girl, and then he says, "I'm going crazy." Why is? Oh, Lunar Star Witch. I don't know why I read that as. Okay. Let me put these aside, then I'll go ahead and ask. It's always one of two things, right? When these kind of things come across our path, and then I'll pull the card, right? Should you be staying in a situation where you're over here kind of up in your head? Of course not, right? I think that says something about if you have a gut, an instinct, something, then you just have to find the strength, right? To say, you know what? But then if it's you, right, then you have to do work on yourself. If you're just someone that thinks too much and you got to figure out like why that trauma, right? At some point in your life did someone do you dirty and now you keep bringing that into relationships, right? Like it's a pattern, right? So you just got to figure it out. Is it you or is it that person with that? Then you got to find the strength to let it go, right? Some people need to go to counseling to really find out that. Some people need to focus on work, and you know what I mean? Look at what came out. Intuition. So if your intuition's telling you something, then I think, I don't know, are you a Pisces? Are they a Pisces? Intuition came out. So if you feel something, yeah, okay, I'll pull. I mean, I think that's pretty. Sometimes the universe will, what are the people usually don't just flat out admit, like, it's like people want their cake and eat it too. A Scorpio, okay. Well, fellow water sign. Some people want to have their cake and eat it too. Oh, Gemini and the Scorpio. Wow. Wow, I'm a Gemini too, so. Yeah, some people just they'll hold on to that lie, right? So yeah. They just like it, right? It is what it is. So the universe might be teaching you to strengthen or to trust your intuition. If that's what you really feel like, if you just feel that, then why would you stay? I mean, What are the bad things, right? You could stay in a connection, and then if you know they're hooking up with someone else, they're bringing you that energy. Not only giving you like a, yeah. To me, that's the biggest thing, right? If I'm being, I say that, hey, I'm so sensitive spiritually. I don't need to be bringing me someone else's energy. By all means, please. And usually, I mean, my intuition, I'm so trusting of it, right? I've learned through the walking through fire that I trust my intuition, right? So yeah, so I don't know. You don't want someone then if you feel something and then you take the chance and then you get diseases, you get spiritual attachments, just so many things. It's just such a messy situation if your intuition's already telling you. But again, if it's just traumas, maybe it's one or the other, right? Then you got to figure it out. Interesting. I mean, this can be patience. What is the patience about? Temperance. This has the solar plexus. The solar plexus is all about standing in your truth, right? I don't know what that means, right? I don't know. I'd rather just go with trusting your intuition, right? Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. But that's funny that the temperance came out. And Sagittarius, right? Maybe things will be revealed soon. If you just sit back and watch, right? I mean, I feel like you're already being shown, but maybe if you need the clarity that bad, like they'll show it to you. Hopefully it's not like, right? Like, yeah. I get it, right? In these human bodies, like we want to make sure sometimes, right? We don't want to make the wrong decision. Sometimes we'll stay longer than we should in situations that aren't good for us, right? But I guess, if you want to be patient, I'm sure, if whatever proof you need is going to be shown to you regardless. So, yeah. Okay. So on that note, let me pull one from the Sacred Forest. Gratitude. Yeah, so don't forget to give gratitude, right? If you need to get out to nature, look at 6. 6, obviously, right? The number of family, home, all that good stuff. So, yeah, maybe just taking time, right? If some of you are spending time with your families during Thanksgiving and all that stuff, um, or spending time with friends, however, whether you celebrate it or not, don't forget to give your gratitude, right? And look at the deer. Obviously the deer with the antlers, they're like antennas, right? They're very tapped into the spirit world, right? And it's funny because, in the native zodiac, the deer is like for the Gemini, right? So that could be a message for you again, right? For the Geminis, right? The deer, right? Tapping into that intuition, and the 6, right? If you're a June Gemini, right? So that's funny. But obviously, this is kind of for everybody. Don't forget to give gratitude during this time. So many beautiful things in life, right? What is that? That's interesting. That little green orb got my attention. The green is associated with the heart, right? The deer also is the heart chakra. So that's funny. There's a lot of things here, right? Be gratitude with your heart, right? You can't fool the spirit world, right? They know, or God, creator, whoever you're thinking about, right? Let your heart really shine, right, with that gratitude. Just look around. There's plenty of things to be grateful for, right? And look at the little fairies are there to help you too. So you're never alone. Don't forget that. Bluebell. That's interesting. Blue. Right? Obviously, blue is like for the throat chakra. But yeah, expressing, right? Bluebell fairy. Express that gratitude, right? Okay, so hopefully you guys are all well. Maybe tonight I'll do another one in the night or something or afternoon. Yeah, hopefully you all have a great day. You can start right now. Just just give your gratitude out loud. Say thank you. You know, yeah, all that good stuff. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in. Linda, River Dragon, Lunar Star Watch, Lunar Star Watch. Yeah, I don't have my glasses, so